All right, let's jump right in. Have you ever wished you could just, tweak a part of your personality? Or finally break that one stubborn habit you just can't shake? Well, what if I told you that you can literally rewire your own brain to do exactly that? And no, this isn't science fiction. It's the very real science of neuroplasticity, and that's exactly what we're going to break down today.
Okay, so let's start with a belief I think a lot of us have had at some point. Is your brain set in stone? Once you hit adulthood, is that it? Is your personality or all your habits, your intelligence, is all that stuff just locked in for good? Well, the answer, and this is the good news, is a huge, resounding no. That old idea of the brain being some kind of hardwired computer, it's completely outdated. Your brain is not set in stone, not even close.
So this incredible ability for our brain to change and adapt, yeah, it has a scientific name. Let's dive into the science of how amazingly malleable it really is.
And that power is called neuroplasticity. It's this simple but honestly profound idea that your brain can physically reorganize its own structure, all based on what you do, what you think, and what you experience. And you know what the most revolutionary part is? This isn't just something that happens when we're kids. It's happening to you right now, and it keeps happening for your entire life.
I love this quote because it puts the power of all this right back into your hands. Just think about that for a second. Every single day, your thoughts, your actions, your experiences, they are all physically sculpting your brain. It's like you're creating this living, breathing map of your life. And the best part is, you're the one holding the pen. You have the power to redraw it.
Okay, but how does this actually work? Like on a physical level, right? How does a simple thought or an action turn into a real, tangible change inside your skull? Let's get into the nuts and bolts of it all.
So picture this. Inside your head right now is this bustling city of about 86 billion nerve cells. We call them neurons, and they are constantly talking to each other, sending these little electrical and chemical messages across tiny gaps called synapses. I mean, this massive, incredible network of conversations, it's the source of every single thought, every feeling, and every action you have ever had. It's mind-blowing.
And all of that crazy activity, it follows one simple, kind of elegant rule. This is like the golden rule of neuroplasticity. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Every time you have a thought or do something, a specific little team of neurons fires up. And the more you repeat that same thought or action, the stronger and faster that connection between them gets. They become best friends.
A great way to think about it is like trying to make a path through a dense forest. The very first time you walk it, it's tough, right? You're pushing through branches, it's slow. But the more you walk that exact same path, the clearer it gets. It gets wider, easier to walk, and eventually, it's just an automatic, well-worn trail you don't even have to think about. That is exactly what's happening in your brain. That repetition is what turns a difficult, conscious action into an automatic habit.
So this whole process makes your brain the ultimate habit-building machine. It's incredible. But, and this is a really crucial but, neuroplasticity is a double-edged sword. See, the very same mechanism that builds a good habit is the exact same one that builds a bad one. Your brain, it doesn't judge, it just builds.
And pretty much every single habit you have, good or bad, is a neural pathway that follows this super simple three-step loop. First, there's a cue, a trigger. Think of your phone buzzing. Then comes the routine, which is the action itself. You pick it up and check social media. And finally, you get the reward, that little hit of pleasure or distraction that tells your brain, hey, that was good. Let's do that again. And this is so powerful to understand. The exact same process that helps you build a great habit like exercising is also what can wire in patterns of anxiety or overthinking or even addiction. Your brain isn't biased one way or the other. It just gets really, really good at reinforcing the pathways you use the most.
So here's the bottom line. Your brain is neutral. It just gets better at whatever you ask it to do, over and over and over again. And that puts an enormous amount of power and, responsibility right back in our hands, doesn't it?
Okay, so we get what neuroplasticity is and how it works. The big question now is, how can we actually use it on purpose? Let's switch gears and get into your practical toolkit for making intentional change happen. All right, so if you had to guess, what do you think is the single most important number one ingredient for consciously rewiring your brain? I'll give you a hint. It's not willpower. And it's not motivation.
The secret ingredient is consistency.
It's all about those small daily actions that compound over time. Seriously, doing something for just 10 minutes every single day is infinitely more powerful for changing your brain than trying to cram it all into a 2-hour session once a week.
This phrase really just says it all, doesn't it? See, you're telling your brain what's important, not with some big, intense one-off gesture. You're telling it through steady, reliable, day-in, day-out repetition. That is how you carve those new pathways.
So how do we actually put this into practice? Well, here's a simple 4-part framework. First up, repetition. We've talked about this one. You've got to build those circuits through daily action. Second, focus. When you're doing that new thing, give it your full, deep attention. Multitasking just splits your brain's resources and makes the wiring weaker. Third, emotion. If you can attach a strong, positive feeling, like a sense of pride or joy to that new habit, it's like throwing fertilizer on it. It helps that connection grow way faster. And finally, environment. You've got to shape your surroundings to make the good habits easy and the bad habits hard. It's about working with your brain, not against it.
You know, when you put all of this together, a really powerful new way of seeing things emerges. You're not just a passive resident living in your mind. You are its active architect. You're the one holding the blueprint.
And the real-world applications for this, they're absolutely life-changing. We're talking about systematically breaking those bad habits you hate, building unshakable discipline, dramatically improving your focus, even gaining conscious control over your own emotional states. This isn't just some neat theory. It's a practical guide to transforming yourself from the inside out.
I want you to really let this sink in. Changing a habit isn't just a battle of willpower. It is a literal, physical construction project happening inside your head. You're tearing down one neural superhighway while you're building a new one, brick by brick. Every single choice you make, you are literally changing the physical landscape of your brain.
So, that leaves us with just one question, right? Knowing that you have this incredible power, what new pathway are you going to build first? What change are you going to start reinforcing starting today?